Hello, rising 11th graders. This is the video where we're going to go through the Math Applications and Interpretation higher level course. And some of these slides are duplicated by the video where we talked about all four of the math courses. So I'm going to whip through those slides very quickly and focus on the last couple, which are particular to this course. So this slide, which is in the other video, just talks about what the course is like in terms of who it's designed for, the topics, the concepts that we teach, and the teaching methods, which these are common to all four math courses. Here is the slide which gives the breakdown of the five topic areas and how the teaching hours are allocated. So you can see that this course is quite heavy on probability and statistics, but there is a fair amount of emphasis on calculus functions and geometry and trigonometry, with number and algebra being the least number of teaching hours in the course. This is the slide that talks about what percent of the student body at WIS has selected this course since they've been since these courses have been around. And this course, it's interesting because it's the most unique of the four courses. It's jumped around, right? It started between about 15% of the people, then 20%, and then 2023 was an off year. Fewer than 10% of the people took it, but it's been quite popular the last couple of years, with between 25 and 30% of the people choosing it. So I guess this is the hardest for us to predict as teachers, how many people are going to select this course, but it's been quite popular the last couple of years at WIS. Now, here's the guts of it. This is what the course looks like in terms of the units. Now, we have 5 topic strands. Those are common to all 4 of the IB courses, but there are various units that make up those topic strands. And what we have chosen to do at WIS is the first 5 units, those represent as much of the common content between the courses as possible, so that in case people have to move, or don't have to, but if they choose to move courses in the first semester, they'll have the least amount of makeup work to do. So the first unit is on sequences and series, including financial applications. The second unit is on functions. That will feel like I shouldn't have said U10. That'll feel a little bit like grade 10, right? And then you'll do a unit on geometry and trigonometry. That will feel like a unit of grade 10. And then we'll do a unit on statistics and probability. That will feel like grade 9, if you recall your grade 9 course. And then unit 5, on probability, the first part of it feels like grade 9, but probability distributions, that's where this course tends to start ramping up in difficulty, in my opinion, because in this course, you will do 3 different distributions: binomial distribution, normal distribution, and something called the Poisson distribution in this course. This course is the only one where Poisson distributions are in the curriculum. Then in unit, and that'll basically be the first semester. Then in the second semester, we'll switch gears and we'll go through a whole bunch of function families. So quadratics, polynomials, exponentials, and logs. That feels like grade 10. And that's really to prep you for a major part of this course called modeling, where we'll be modeling different data series and what have you, using these various function families, right? And so that's an interesting part of the course. And then Unit 8 is a pretty challenging geometry and trigonometry unit, where not only will we talk about vectors, but we'll talk about something called Voronoi diagrams. That's something that's shared. The Voronoi diagrams is shared with the applications SL people, and applications is the only place where Voronoi diagrams are taught. They're not taught in either of the 2 analysis courses. And then we'll have this unit on vectors. And then we'll close out the year with a unit on matrices. And Math Applications HL is the only one of the 4 courses where matrices are in the curriculum. And there is some pretty sophisticated mathematics that is in that unit. When we move into year 2, we'll start with another topic that is only taught in Math Applications HL that's called graph theory. And I would argue that I've never seen this taught. Well, I wouldn't argue. I would say I've never seen this taught in a traditional United States mathematics high school curriculum because it's an interesting concept, and it helps you solve a lot of real world problems. And it's got a little bit of overlap with computer science because there's some algorithms that get done. All right, then we get into the guts of what makes this course what it is. The next 2 units on statistics and probability. The first unit is kind of a precursor unit on random variables. That is in the IB curriculum. And then we're also going to talk about sampling distribution models. While that's not technically in the IB curriculum, you really can't understand statistical inference without having a good idea about sampling distribution models. So that's why we've kind of put those together. Unit 12 is a really, there's a ton of content in there, and that's inferential statistics. And that is a major part of this course, and it's kind of what makes applications. And then we'll finish the year. That'll take you through about December or so, and we'll finish the year by going through the calculus strand. So Unit 13 is on limits and derivatives or differential calculus. Unit 14 is integral calculus, and then differential equations, solving differential equations by integration and separation of variables. And then Unit 15 is quite challenging, where we're going to analyze 2D and 3D motion, and then talk about coupled differential equations where we get to solve problems like predator-prey models and things like that. So it's a very interesting curriculum. And for those of you who think that this is the quote easy HL, I want to disabuse you of that notion. It may appear easy because it has a gentler glide path than the analysis course does. But, vectors, modeling, matrices, graph theory, inference, differential calculus, integral calculus, coupled differential equations, those are all pretty heavy duty concepts, right? And so this is not the quote easy HL in my opinion. It is the reason it may feel a little easier is you always have access to a graphing display calculator for assessments, so you can you don't have to solve everything algebraically or analytically all the time. Okay, what does the assessment look like in this course? Well, like I just referred to, you always have a calculator for the assessments. You have a paper 1 and a paper 2, which are both 2-hour exams. Now, since you have a calculator for both of them, the only difference here between paper 1 and paper 2 is they've chosen to put all the short response questions in paper 1 and all the long response questions in paper 2. So these are the ones like 5 to 8 marks per question, right? And these are like the 12 to 15 kind of marks per question, multiple parts usually. And then there is a paper 3, which is a calculator, and it's like the analysis HL course, it's 2 extended response questions. They're both like 25 to 30 marks each. And that's a multiple parts to those problems. You also have, like all the other 3 courses, an internal assessment. The goal here is to pick a topic by end of grade 11. And I should say approved, get an approved topic. That way, if you want to work on it over the summer, you can, you don't have to, but it might be helpful for you to do. And then the bulk of this work is done in the fall of senior year, where you will submit your first draft. And then the final draft is typically late January, early February, so right at the beginning of the second semester. Okay, so that is the Math Applications HL course in a nutshell. And as always, if you have any questions, reach out to any WIS math teacher for help.